Okay, where to begin? Last you saw me, I was working on cabins 1, 2, and 3, squaring up the outline or the border of where the pad's gonna sit, and then all hell broke loose. We had a storm come in, crazy winds. Some of my neighbors here said they've never seen anything like that in the 20 years they've been here. So things on my rush to get equipment and stuff back inside the barn, it was absolutely pouring, windy. You wouldn't believe it. So let me show you what happened. Okay, let me show you here just about what I was working on before everything happened. So this is cabin 2, or the space where cabin 2 is going to occupy. It was squared up and it's ready to go, ready to be leveled. My intention, this is an oak tree right here that leans almost directly towards the cabin. So I started to clear out. I had to drop a couple trees. I've got a little pine here that had to come out. And then over here, this was a pretty large oak tree, but it was completely dead. And then I started to cut the rounds. So you can see here, I mean, it was just completely dead at the top. Everything was just falling off of it, and it was just good to get rid of it. So I was able to drop it right where I wanted to, and started to cut all these rounds out. I don't even know if these rounds, I mean, it's almost completely dead inside. If you look here at this cross section, this here is all dead. I've got a small, maybe 8-inch part in the center there that would be decent. So I'll probably quarter these up or something. I'll leave them out here for the campers and stuff to burn. I don't think it'll go to waste, but it's just one of those things. So I never actually got to drop this tree right here in front of cabin 2. That's when the rain came. So the first thing I noticed when I come back down into the cabin 1 area was this larger, completely dead tree right there that is now leaned up against that oak tree. That tree is completely dead, and it's really sandwiched in between some branches up there at the top of that oak tree. And right there's my property line stake. This is about 10-12 feet onto my neighbor's property. So I'm gonna have to talk to them, see what they say. And like I said, let's see if I can get up kind of high here. Yeah. Well, you can kind of see how it's wedged up in there a little bit. So getting that out is going to be a challenge, but it's against that oak tree there. I really don't have that's a good, healthy looking oak. It's not going to push that oak over. So I'm not too concerned of it dropping on me. But I did clear out. There was another tree right here that it was kind of smashed up against. So I dropped that and I added to my brush pile over here. But really, probably the most significant thing I lost was this pine that's right through there. So where this pine is at, this area may look familiar to you, and based on some of these blue flags that are down here, this is the septic area down here just past cabin 1. This tree, it kind of worked on a little bit yesterday afternoon between the rain, just to try and alleviate some of the issue it was potentially going to cause. So we got the main root here, the root ball, and it was leaned over about 45 degrees, and this is what's left of it. that's leaning up against that tree there, and that's what we're going to get out today. We're gonna pull that out. We're gonna film it, see if we can't end up on America's Funniest Home Videos, and you know, we'll see what happens. So, I mean, the problem with these pine trees, like I said, we got some pretty good wind yesterday. I don't know what it was, but it certainly was the highest amount of wind we've had since we've been here. But these pines, they don't have a really complex or deep root system, so you know, it doesn't really take much. But it was a super healthy tree. You got quite a bit of sapwood here, and then your heartwood here. Pith looks great. And then I started to cut these down into rounds. Like I said, it was a really healthy tree. There was nothing wrong with it. So I managed to cut out maybe a 4-foot section at a time, just letting the base of that tree fall forward. So it brought it back towards just about as close to vertical as I can. It was over 45 degrees. Let's see if we can't get up there. 45 degrees. And so through these trees, and you can probably hear it, the road is right here. Right there's the road. So last thing I wanted to have happen was to have that fall into the street, and you know, somebody could, you know, get hurt or whatever. So that's kind of the state. We did pretty good in the rest of the property. No other big problems. I did know we had quite a few trees down here in the county, really localized to us here. So, you know, after storms like that, all you hear, you know, people down here are pretty self-reliant. So all you heard were chainsaws running and, you know, solving their own problems, which is nice. I like that. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I'll set you guys up on a good position. The idea is, and I've done this before with some other trees, I'm going to throw a line up towards the top here, and then really probably just tie it off to the stump, and then you know, pull it back. I'll try and get a 2-to-1 on it. I don't have any pulleys or anything like that, so it's going to be all, there's going to be friction and stuff created by it, but we'll see what we come up with. Okay, as with a lot of things, the prep work is 90% of the operation here. So it took me 5 minutes or so to get my string untangled, and, you know, working on a forest floor like this, every time you pull it, it picks up a twig and it gets bound up inside there, makes a knot. It's just a lot of fun. Anyway, got my rope laid out, I think. This is what I use. I have an old impact socket. It's an extended deep well socket. It's fairly heavy, easy to tie onto. It's kind of why I use it, and I haven't lost one yet, knock on wood. So we'll see how it goes. Now my idea is to get this up as high into the tree as I can. Obviously that's going to provide the most leverage to pull that back. So I'll give it a couple throws, we'll see how many it takes. Okay, I got it over the exact branch I wanted to get it on, but the socket, there's too much string out. The socket's not heavy enough to pull that string down. So let's figure it out. All right, here's the plan. I got my pole saw here. I got 3 sections. It's each section 6 feet plus my reach. You know, I'm 5'11", 6'1" on Tinder. And so we'll put these together and I should be able to reach it. I think it is down low enough to grab it. So let's see what happens. All right, looks like I'm shy by just a couple feet, so I'm just gonna go get a step ladder, leaning against that tree. That should give me enough. I have enough rounds down here. I guess I could stack them up, but those ain't light. All right, we managed to get it down. Just got to figure out the best way to kind of tie it up and, you know, see what we come up with. Okay. So now I'm going to tie off the bitter end here to a tree. I'm going to figure out, you know, obviously the higher I want to get it, everything, the leverage is going to work for me, hopefully. So we'll see what we come up with. Okay, I think I have everything lashed in over on the other side fairly well, but there's a lot of friction with that rope that I have in the tree. So I'm going to try and create a fulcrum to kind of pull it maybe foot by foot. Let's see. Okay, kind of a change in look. This is basically the area where I'm going to be pulling it from. I've got a big iron heavy rod here. Like I said, I'm just going to try and use that as a fulcrum and just kind of walk it back. Ideally, the tree is going to fall kind of to back to my left here. But hold on. Boy, that thing's heavy. I yanked on that thing pretty good. It barely moved. I may have to try and get the rope up higher, or maybe cut the bottom off another 4 feet so it gets more vertical. But it's not going to budge where it's at least with what I'm doing. Like I said, I don't have any pulleys. Set up like a 5-to-1 or something like that, but hell, I can't even do a 2-to-1. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let me show you here what I just opted to do. Definitely put me in a little better position. So I chopped another, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet off of that. So it used to be sitting right here. Obviously, as that fell forward, and plus it also dropped whatever distance that is, so 4 feet or so. So we're definitely in a much better position as far as the angle of the tree goes. But again, I got a lot of stretch on that line. It's a dynamic line, so you know I got to pull a lot of tension out of it. But it's sitting 5 feet lower. It's at less of an angle, so let's give it a whirl. Okay, so that last little bit I took off was super sketch. I don't know if you saw, I don't know if that stump's covered, but I kind of had a oh shit moment there for a second. But it's gonna fall now. I'm gonna actually, ooh, that's sawdust. I think I'm actually gonna change this tie down point here. You can see now, at least it's gonna fall into the yard, which is absolutely fine. So I'll probably change my tying point here to actually pull it the way it's leaning. So the only thing that's resisting it right now, it's just kind of hung up on some branches and stuff. So it should come down fairly easy. Woo! Okay, before I go out and try and redo that tie down point, I'm just gonna pull here at about a 90-degree angle, see if it doesn't just kind of fall out of the tree. We'll see what happens. No such luck. I'm gonna change that tie down point. Okay, we're done messing around. I've got it, the rope kind of pulled out just about as far as it'll go. I'm gonna hook it onto the four-wheeler and give it a pull. I can already hear thunder in the distance, so I don't want to be stuck out here in the rain like I was yesterday. Here we go. That's how you do it. That's how you drop a tree in 3 hours. Oh man, what a show. Looks like I got some damage to another tree. Probably just dropped that one as well. That's it. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but it's raining. Let's put this on pause. All right, guys, we're back in the barn, probably for the day. It's around lunchtime or something like that, but it's absolutely pouring out. And I just don't want to have to deal with the mud and the muck that's down there right now. So I'll probably finish clearing up that tree. I'll make some rounds. I'll split it or whatever. I'll just leave it down there. Again, it's just yellow pine. I'm not really going to use it for anything except firewood for the campers and stuff down there. So we'll just leave that for them. So I'll probably, you know, I'll just show you the end product next time. I'm pretty sure you've seen me use a chainsaw and split some wood before. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a lot of fun for me. Really showing you how not to bring a tree down, and you know, it was just a ride. Don't do what I do, whatever you do. So yeah, all right, well, I'm gonna try and put this video together and get it out to you guys. The channel's live now, so hopefully you guys are staying entertained. Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for, to entertain you. We'll see you on the next one.